Hello and welcome back to the Morgan Branding Podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about the book, The Ride of a Lifetime by Robert Iger, which is the story and book about Robert Iger, who was Disney CEO. Now, this book for me is more of an entertainment style book. And when we talk about the podcasts that I listen to, would be more in that bracket. It's less so much about the hows and the whats, but listening to the story, enjoying the story. I love a podcast called How I Built This, which we'll come on to at various points and talk about how a business was built. And that is, Robert Iger's autobiography, life story, business life story. And to me, I find these books super interesting. So if you've got any other recommendations on books like this for me, I would love to hear, great business owners, entrepreneurs, people that have worked their way up and how they've done it. Radical Candor was similar to that, I suppose, for Kim Scott and how she worked her way up businesses. The Ride of a Lifetime for me, Disney and Robert Iger, we look at Disney and just think, oh my days, what a company. But you see some of the battles that they went through, gone through, continue to go through, decisions, and how big them decisions are. And when you look at it from the outside, you don't see probably the turmoil and the worry and the financial troubles that at various points they will have been going through. And for Disney, how do you carry on a legacy of Walt Disney, and how do you carry on that legacy all the way through to the modern day and look after a brand as Disney is arguably one of the most important brands in the world, that if you do that wrong, the backlash will be huge. Now, for me, what I saw in this book was an interesting thing about having different facets and different sides to your business. So many things that I read say, be ultra focused, do one thing and that's it, and do it really well and blah, 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 blah. And at various points in my life, I've thought, I like doing different things. It keeps it interesting for me, but also we can offer this service to somebody else and we can do this. And when we get this, it links into this. And when we do this job, it links into that job. And to me, when they talk about Disney, they talked about, buying Marvel, for example. And when they buy Marvel, or they bought these various things, the impact that had on the theme parks and on merchandise and on the bigger Disney brand, not just the thing that they bought. And they bought it and it became profitable for the thing that they wanted it to become profitable for. But the added benefit of the theme park side or whatever meant that it was even more profitable than they could ever imagined. And to me, this is where having different facets and different things in your business, and yes, we're not the size of Disney and have theme parks all around the world and merchandise and whatever, but there will be things that you do in your business that you do one service and you can offer another service to somebody else, and they come to you and that grows and the snowball, grows, and you're profitable on this side. You signed up this customer, they went through the sales process, and once they got there, they agreed. And then 6 months down the line, you got this other added benefit down the road to go, oh my days, that, is amazing that I did it for this and I've done this and this has gone well, but this has gone even better on the other side. So for me, that was really interesting to listen to the Disney story, how Disney have grown and what an impact that's had, on where they are today, and how Robert Iger took them through that journey. Obviously, Disney as well, on a customer service side, on a magical side, on a creativity side, has always been known as that company that's been amazing. But he talks about Pixar, and he talks especially about Steve Jobs and his friendship with Steve Jobs. And there's some incredibly moving parts of the book. There's some incredible stories within the book, and I really think it's a great read. So one that I would recommend. Cheers. Atomic Habits talks about bad habits as much as it talks about good habits. And you get into the habit